Comparative and Superlative Adjectives Rules. Hello and welcome back to Grammar with Altaf. In today's video, we are going to learn the rules for using comparative and superlative adjectives in English. We'll show you how to compare two things using comparative adjectives and how to compare more than two things using superlative adjectives. It's easy, it's interesting, and it's something you can start using right away in your everyday English.
Yes, Annie. Comparative and superlative adjectives are very useful when we want to compare people, places, or things. For example, when we say Ali is taller than Ahmed, we're using a comparative adjective. When we say Ali is the tallest boy in the class, we're using a superlative adjective. In this video, we'll break down the rules step by step, so let's get started.
First, let's talk about comparative adjectives. We use comparative adjectives when we compare two people or things. Most of the time, we add "er" to the end of a short adjective. For example, tall becomes taller, fast becomes faster, small becomes smaller.
Exactly. But remember, these rules apply only to short adjectives, usually one-syllable words. When an adjective ends in "e", we just add "r" instead of "er". For example, nice becomes nicer, large becomes larger. Also, when a one-syllable adjective ends in a consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, we double the last consonant before adding "er", like big becomes bigger, hot becomes hotter.
Now, let's talk about longer adjectives, usually with two syllables or more. We don't add "er" to those. Instead, we put "more" before the adjective. Examples: beautiful becomes more beautiful, comfortable becomes more comfortable, expensive becomes more expensive.
Right. So, this sofa is more comfortable than that one. Or, this car is more expensive than my old one. Now let's move on to superlative adjectives, which are used to compare three or more people or things.
Yes, superlatives are used when we want to show that something is at the highest or lowest level of quality. With short adjectives, we usually add est to the end. For example, tall becomes tallest, fast becomes fastest, small becomes smallest, and again, if the word ends in e, we just add seat. Large becomes largest, nice becomes nicest.
And like with comparatives, if the adjective ends with a consonant-vowel-consonant pattern, we double the final consonant before adding est. Big becomes biggest. Hot becomes hottest. For long adjectives, we use the most before the adjective. Examples: beautiful becomes the most beautiful. Comfortable becomes the most comfortable. Intelligent becomes the most intelligent.
Let's see some examples of superlative sentences. He is the tallest boy in the class. This is the most beautiful painting I've ever seen. That was the most exciting movie of the year.
Now here's a quick tip. Always use "the" before superlative adjectives. So we say the tallest, the smartest, the most interesting. Because superlative means there is only one at the top level, so we identify it clearly.
Good point. Also, some adjectives have irregular forms and don't follow these rules. For example, good becomes better, comparative, and the best, superlative. Bad becomes worse and the worst. Far becomes farther or further, and the farthest or the furthest. These are exceptions, and they should be memorized.
Yes, and don't worry, there are not too many of these irregular adjectives, but they are common in everyday speech. Let's now look at a quick comparison between comparative and superlative forms side by side. Adjective, comparative, superlative. Tall, taller, the tallest. Big, bigger, the biggest. Easy, easier, the easiest. Good, better, the best. Bad, worse, the worst. Beautiful, more beautiful, the most beautiful.
Another tip: never use more plus, er, or most plus est. It's incorrect to say more taller or most tallest. Just say taller and the tallest. For example, this car is more faster than mine. This car is faster than mine.
Yes, that's a very common mistake among learners. Another thing to keep in mind is punctuation and sentence structure. Comparatives often use than to show the difference between two things. Ali is stronger than Ahmed. Superlatives often use in or of to show the group being compared. He is the fastest runner in the school. She is the smartest of all.
That's right. Now let's do a few practice sentences. Try to guess if we're using a comparative or a superlative. This book is more interesting than the last one. She is the best player on the team. My house is bigger than yours. That was the most difficult exam of all.
Very good examples. Let's review now what we've learned in this video. We use comparative adjectives to compare two people or things. We use superlative adjectives to compare three or more. For short adjectives, we usually add or est. For long adjectives, we use more or the most. Some adjectives are irregular and need to be memorized. Always use than with comparatives and the with superlatives.
Yes. And now you know how to make your comparisons sound natural and correct in English. Just remember the basic rules and keep practicing. That's all for today's video. If you liked this lesson and found it helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.
Thank you for watching Grammar with Altaf. Keep learning, keep practicing, and we'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.